let's have a wander around the craft room and just go through some of the projects that are waiting for some time to get them finished. So this quilt has come back from the quilters. It's got a nice little quilty pattern and it's kind of an orangey back. And I've sorted out, I've got some more of this fabric, which I'm going to make the border with. So it's quite a big one, is that one. It's folded in 4, so it's going to sit nicely on our bed. It's the biggest one I've made, so I have to set to, make some binding and put the binding on, and then the quilt is finished. This one is, I've been working on this one recently. I've just put that border on the two of the sides, just wanted to make it a bit wider, and I've pulled out the final border, which is these black and white jelly roll strips. So I think I'm going to cut them in thirds. Each jelly, that's one jelly roll strip. So I've kind of put them in a bit of an order. I'm debating still whether I'll sew that one to 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 that one, and just bind and just put it on the quilt as a final border, which I think will just nicely frame this whole thing up. And that's also going to be a big one. So I'll have 2 that actually fit our bed a bit better than the throw type ones that I've got at the moment. This is, I couldn't resist. I wanted to make something out of these jelly roll strips. And guess what? I've put them all together in blocks. And at the moment, I've forgotten what I was going to do. So I have got them in. I've totally forgotten what was in my mind. So I'll have to ponder and figure out and let that work out for me. I think I was just going to do a jelly roll race. That's it. That's what I was going to do. But I've divided. I haven't done a jelly roll race since way back at the beginning, because I didn't really like how it turned out. So that's, yeah, I remember now. Memory's coming back. So I divided them into, like, hopefully I won't get like a big block of one colour coming to the same place and it looking a little bit odd. This one has been around a while. I think you've seen it before. I've got this all sandwiched together, and I just need to sit down and quilt it. I'm not very good at doing the quilting portion. This is going to look quite nice, I think. It's designed size-wise to go on my coffee table out in the family room. And it's got this really cute border around. And so I just got to sandwich that together. I've gone red on the back. I think what stopped me, I needed to put red in my bobbin thread and obviously a white in the top one. And I just had both colours. But look what I found when I had a look in my... Look at all those bobbin threads that have already got red rolled on. So I've got no excuse now. I can just put a different bobbin thread, the bottom thread. I'm not doing very well there. The bottom thread with red. So that has got no excuse to actually start to do that. And that's that one. And then there's quite a few quilts in progress, like this one is this one up here, all these bits that I've done already, which is Emily's quilt for her bedroom. It's just fallen over. And so I've got these all ready, and I've got started. It's this pile here on the rest of the blocks. So there's 15 of these blocks already made of these blocks, so you can come back and see that. And there's 15 of a different one, and they'll come all together alternately. That's Emily's quilt top, which I have to get on and finish. It's been on the go for a while. She stopped asking about it now. That's saying something, isn't it? This is one of the very first quilts that I started to do, and again, there's the rest of the fabric for it, and I have to... There's quite a few blocks on here. Now, this was Quilt As You Glow. It's very interesting when I look at this now, because I was so proud when I did this. but there's a few little things that are not quite as nice. And I spent ages choosing the fabrics for this one and buying the fabrics. And yeah, so I should get on and finish that. I don't have to do it as quilt as you go, because that, I think, is what stopped me. I didn't really want to do quilt as you go. So I can just make it into a top and send it to my long armour and she can work her magic. And then, of course, I've got this one to get finished off. I've shown you this a few times in the past. I think I've got about 6 blocks to make of these blocks, and then I've got some border blocks there somewhere around here, these guys under here. And again, I started that in 2021, would you believe? So I need to get on and finish it. Nothing stopping me on that one other than other projects that I want to do as well. This one is, I'll just move these out of the way. I've shown you this before. So I've got all these joining panels made up and these 16 patch squares all made up. Again, it came out of a jelly roll. And I think what's stopping this one is I don't like this. I don't like what I chose here. And so I should just do something different. Hey, you don't have to follow the pattern that somebody gave. So this idea of what's happening here is you have one of these panels, and these guys form the corners like that. Move that chair out of the way. That one's got a bit scrumpled. And then these guys join up between them like this. So that forms the block there. Sort of get the idea? And that's the corner. I'll get one that's not scrumpled. And that ends up being the corner, and then the next block goes over, and it's not a massive quilt. But I think what's stopping this one is I don't like these two fabrics that I've got here. So best thing to do is find something else to do in the corner. I don't mind the hourglass thing. And I've got it all ready to go and do all those things. But if you don't like it, you don't like it, do you? So I think that is what's stopping that one from progressing. I just feel somehow that is just not quite gelling with this. And I only just thought about that just the other day. And this one has been sat waiting for quite some time to get that finished. But something was stopping me. So now it's come to me. I have to do these in something that blends a bit more with the rest of those colours. The problem now is that I might not have the fabric left. This was a jelly roll, and I've probably used things on other projects. So I spent an absolute fortune on a whole swag of fabrics. There they are, look, they're sitting there and I started to make a quilt along thing. I joined, and then I didn't like some of the blocks that she was doing. This was before I went to Africa. And so this one has stalled. And so I think what I need to do is just do some blocks that I do like instead of the ones that the quilt along was doing. So that's another project that's stalled. And that's a real shame, because this was all my beautiful fabrics, which is still all my beautiful fabrics. But I need to figure out what to do. And I think part of the problem with this one was that I didn't quite have enough pails. When I say lights, I should say this, to contrast some of the fabrics. And I think you can see it maybe in that one a bit more. I mean, it's okay. It's just that I found it a bit of a challenge to have the lights and the darks and contrast some of the fabrics. I think that one you can sort of see it a little bit more. But I should push through, because I think I'm going to like those fabrics. And I don't have to do every single block that the person put together in the block of the week thing. I just do the ones that I like. You can do that. The other thing that I've been doing is I've been making scrappy quilts. And what did I do with that? Oh, it's there. I've showed it to you already. Putting stuff together in scrappy things because I don't have a massive scrap pile, but look, it's starting to grow. All those bits down there, my scrap bins are starting to grow. And these are all yardage fabrics. It's a bit dark in there. And I've got these guys, these fat quarters and stuff that I bought because I just like the fabric. Isn't that pretty? And of course, I'm starting to develop into the quilters challenging that we do of having lots of different fabrics. And I've got a couple more jelly rolls there that I bought. Some jelly rolls which are just white, but very useful to have those kind of white jelly rolls. So yeah, I've got to do a sort out in the quilt room and slowly pick off some of these projects. And as I said, Emily has stopped asking about her quilt. And it kind of doesn't, well, I suppose it does. We've gone pink in her bedroom and there's lots of pink in that, so I'm sure it will look fine on her bed. But as my quilting journey is progressing, I can see that my skill base, I'm getting better at things basically, which is what I should be trying to say. So what have we got over here? Oh, these two are just waiting for their bindings, but I have decided what the binding is going to be. So this one is going to get the red binding and this one is going to get just make that a little bit easier to see. This one is going to get the white binding, which I may or may not regret later. Those two are going to look nicely over the back of the chairs in the family room. And I've just dropped all those jelly roll strips on the floor. So that's what's going on in the quilting room. And yeah, we're going to get some more things finished and sort out some of these fabrics. Catch you later.